Hi. And I think somewhere else. I don't know the time zones. Time zones are math that I don't like. I can do other math, but this one I don't. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump on over and we're going to meet the players for the first time. So these are the Legends of Kralis players that are going to let me torture them every week, which I'm looking forward to. So what we have here, I'm going to let you guys introduce yourselves. We're going to go ahead and start off. I'm going to call out your character names. Just for everybody at home, let you know, I've got one camera here. That is the one that I'm staring at you with these big brown eyes. And then I've got another camera over here where I can actually talk and see them. So if you see me going back and forth, it's because of that. So we're going to go and get started. We're going to actually start in the top left corner with Layla Ave. She is they are a, go for it.
Hi. My name is Jocelyn, aka the Tipsy Tiger. I am playing Layla Ave, who is a
Why is this not transitioning over?
Linax Jock. Is it not working?
Give me a second. Let me kill the oh, there we go. Technical difficulties. Oh. We're back. Sorry. So we're on the far left hand corner is Layla. And we'll continue from there.
I'm playing Layla Ev, who is I always say this wrong. Is it Linax? Linax Jacquera. And do you want to hear any more, or just kind of like a brief thing, and then we'll go into
it? let's just do a brief intro, and then we're gonna get into it. We'll start talking about session 0 and what we want to see, what we don't want to see. Next to the Linux is a Tajahu. Hello.
Hello, my name's Markham. I am nervously excited to be here. My character's name is Ellen, and he is the, as mentioned, Tajahu. I think
let's just end it right there. Introduce you guys' names and stuff like that, and then we'll get into all that, and then we'll get and what they don't know, what they didn't know until like 5-10 minutes ago, that we're gonna do session 0, and then we're gonna jump right into the adventure. They're like, don't do this to us. I'm like, this is how I torture you.
We're like, don't do that.
And we are actually amazingly, I want to say blessed. I don't know. I think blessed is it. We have our first ever. She's collected a lot of dice, has never known what to do with them. She's actually playing her first TTRPG, and it's going to be Legends of Kralis. And I cannot say wow more than wow. Cool. And she is Bajra. Hello.
I am Bajra the Rakaz. But hello, I am Selkie to the internet and Bajra for Legend of Kralis.
I'm excited. I think it'll be interesting, especially the fact is that you're actually starting with a system that is not the, would you say the go-to system nowadays?
Yeah.
I mean 5e, right?
5e,
so I'm excited.
Standard.
Yeah, so hopefully we won't scare her away. I don't know. She's I think she's gonna be a tough cookie here. I think she's gonna be hard to push away. Hopefully we'll get her so addicted she'll be like in a game every day for like weeks, and not know what to do with life, because it'll be like, I gotta get my D&D in, I gotta get my Legends of Kralis in, I gotta get this in. Come on.
Welcome to your schedule being completely filled up for the rest of your life. I hope you're ready.
I know nothing else.
And the worst part about it is the fact that what it'll end up being is it'll be scheduling conflicts, which will cause the death of most groups, unfortunately. So
it's been the delay of a lifetime.
Our next and final player is Ajote. How are you doing?
I am also nervously excited. I'm Isaiah. My character is in a series and goes by the name of Ajote Ahaka, which is cool.
Which is right. And so the series, what he's actually, well, you know what? I don't want to even get into it. I'm going to let you guys describe it. So we're going to talk about session 0. Now, you guys all filled out an amazing Google Sheet, and I think we all came to the same consensus about certain things. One, no, I should just bring that up just so I can look at it. Don't you think? I think that's probably the best way to do that. Because, I'm going to say something. I'll be like, wasn't that part of the whole thing? Where was that? That was in... It's not chat. Oh my gosh, where is it? It's not Sheets. Where is it? Translate, Chrome, Hangouts, Blog, Classroom, Slides. Oh, there it is. The Forms. Google Forms. All right. I found it. I think this is it, right? Is this it? Wait, where's the responses? Oh, look at the responses. Oh, there's the responses. Cool. All right. So what we've decided that it can be up to a rated R kind of like festivity kind of thing. I think that's kind of cool. I don't know if I could do PG-13, but then again, I don't even know if I could do rated R. Yeah, I don't even know what those are anymore, my age and stuff. So we've also decided that horror bugs are okay. Blood is okay. Demons are okay. Eyeballs were a little on to that. Gore we're about 50-50 on that. So when I go to gore, guys, one of the things I'll do is like I will if you guys get a critical hit, right? And it's like a big one. I'm like, okay, you're out. I can see that you're flat out going to kill this creature, this enemy. And I know you're going to do it. I'm going to ask, and I'm sorry, Critical Role fans, critters. They didn't come up with the term first. How do you want to do this? And it's up to you. You can go as epic as you like. I don't care. I'm not offended by it. I had one character player actually describe that his Bahul, which is the big guys with the horns, punched through the skull of a humanoid because he did. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to wear the skull around my wrist for a while. I'm like, okay, right on. Moving on. So I don't care where you guys go with that. I think we've all agreed no harm to animals because that's just, there's better ways to tell. You are an animal. Yeah, you are an animal. Right. We've all agreed that there will be no harm to children either. And I will not intentionally put children in harm's way. They may be NPC, like, hey, you see a bunch of children, this attack has happened, and children over to the side with their moms and things like that. I will not go into a visual scene because there are two things in this world that really make me like, I don't want to say depressed or cry, but is harm to animals or harm to children. Any of those. So like, I don't know if you guys remember. Maybe I'm too old, but there was this movie where the three animals, the 2 dogs and the cat, were trying to get home. Homeward Bound. I'm sorry, I cannot watch that movie without crying every single time.
It's like Milo and Otis. It's
right.
The same
Yep.
Right.
No.
Can't
Every
do that
time.
every time. Right. I'm done. I'm like, nope. I'm checked out.
Every
See you guys later.
Or 12 below.
Right. However, they've all agreed that they like rats and spiders, and I will use that to my best benefit.
No.
Yeah,
I knew what I
relationships, romance. Okay, cool. Romance with Fade with Black, which is where I will always go. Romance between PCs and NPCs. I'm kind of, that just makes me feel weird, but I will, and there will be absolutely nothing that has anything to do with emotional abuse, segs, any type of emotional abuse, any type of physical abuse. And physical abuse is going to be, if it won't be character on character or NPC on NPC. It'll be NPC on character, like they've caught you and they're torturing you for some information. That's probably the worst it'll get. I'm not going to go into describing a waterboarding incident or anything like that. It just doesn't make sense to me, and that's not the way I play. Now, this is where it gets a little weird because we have a 50-50 kind of split when it comes to violent conflict between PCs. What's your guys? So we have one that's okay with it. We have two that are like, we're going to avoid it, and one's like, I can take it or leave it. What do you guys want to do? Do you want a little in party tension sometimes? Or
my opinion of it is, if it comes naturally as a party, I feel more comfortable with it. Forced PvP is very uncomfortable for me. Or if, like, my biggest issue is I've played in games where someone's just like, I play this person, I'm just going to start attacking you for no reason. And you're like, sir, why?
and that's when I will shut the stream off and we will have a conversation. Like, okay, we'll be back.
We'll be back. Just give us 5 minutes.
Right.
That's my opinion. I don't know. That's just my 2 cents.
No, that's mine too. Is if it fits for the party, I'm okay with it. But I'm not really. If it's forced, or if it's just because like someone likes to play a character that just picks on everyone else, or someone has another player who they like to pick on that player's character all the time, I don't like that either.
But I'm also getting a sense from the 4 of you. I don't think that's going to be a problem. Like, when you go to a convention and you have weird people showing up and you have all this other stuff. By the
yeah, the
way,
role
I
players.
have the guys. I've actually had that happen once at a convention playing Legends of Kralis. These guys showed up. They're like, yeah, let's play. And I'm like, okay, cool. You kind of show the book off, and it kind of went sour after about the first 10 minutes. I literally physically got up, pulled the chair out with the guy in it, and said, "You're done. You can leave." And he looked at me like, "Wow, okay, I'm insulted." I said, "I don't care if you're insulted. Get the heck out." I'm being very PC. That's not exactly what I said, but you get the picture.
Use your imagination.
Yeah, it had a lot to. Yeah,
Where are some colorful Kralis swears?
right. That would be.
Oh.
So if you guys haven't gotten that list, I did put up a list of the words that you guys can
I
use.
did.
I've actually switched it over so you guys can make some of that, so we can use some real world swear words or the swear words that you can. Just don't ever call Layla a Jaga. That's all I'm saying. Just saying, don't do it.
Warning ahead of time.
Warning ahead of time. There will be claws and fur flying.
Lots of hissing.
Oh,
lots
God.
and lots of
And
hissing.
lots of nismas. All right. So one thing that we all kind of agreed on is either we don't want it or it's okay. Is anything that has to do with homophobia, real world racism, real world religion, real world sexism, transphobia, and specific cultural issues. Now, when I made this, I actually put in real world, right?
Mhm.
Because I come from the philosophy and belief when you're creating tension, there are, and I actually had this conversation with Isaiah when we were creating character, is that slavery will happen, but it won't be like against a single type of person. It'll be, okay, this country is like, you know what, we don't care, we're gonna just put you in the mines. Sorry, there's gonna be that. There is a distrust between certain species, but it's only a distrust. It's not an out and out hatred. It's like, so you're a Jaga, I see. What? Right?
So mad at you.
And suddenly there's a dice flying across the world hitting me in the head. Sexism, real world or not, I won't play with that in either way because I find it stupid. I think, so being a martial arts instructor, I love the fact that I've got women that are in my martial arts and they actually are more violent than the men, and I cheer them on. I'm like, get it, right? No, so we're just not gonna do sexism in that sense. Transphobia, I think that's a big duh. If you guys want to breach that, we will talk about that off screen so we can make sure we're all on the same page and things don't go weird. And specific cultural issues. Again, real world cultural issues, especially what's going on in the world today, I want to avoid it all. I just want to focus on what's going on in Legends of Kralis, in the world around Legends of Kralis, and your characters. Thoughts, comments, questions, concerns? Do you want to quit now?
Yeet.
No.
I'm done. Sorry, I'm out.
You just
far
watch us
invested.
every
That
time
was a
we
little too far.
I'm too far invested into finding an NPC and paying him gold. To
I'm
go up
also
to,
just dying because I'm watching the comments on Twitch, and my twin, who is androgynous nerd boy, real life twin, just said that their cat says hello to me. Because
Oh, no.
cat.
Those cats.
That's freaking fun. That's
I
funny.
see stars is saying we're a very cute party. I feel like we're very cute, but I feel like there's a lot of darkness out here that
I think there is. I think there is. There's a layer beneath that layer that when we tap it, I'm gonna be going, oh, I wasn't expecting that. All right. So we also did some things on mental and physical health. So it looks like we're all kind of okay with me torturing you guys, except when it comes to two very severe things that are gonna happen. And I don't know why this fell this way. Well, I'm not gonna say which ones they are. You guys know which ones they are. Well, I will say the topics if that's okay with everybody. Pregnancy, miscarriage, and abortion. I will not breach that. It will not happen. You will. I mean, if you decide that your character wants to be pregnant, I'm gonna go NPC. Because I don't find storytelling about that to be a necessary thing. And as a personal note to all of you, we've actually had to deal with a couple of the last two in our own lives for various reasons due to health needs, and so it's very tender subject for us over here and stuff like that. So it looks like it can torture you with severe weather, so hurricanes and tornadoes. Got it. But the next
Floridian.
subject,
Bring me
right?
what you got.
But the next subject, and I don't know where this one starts. There's a red line and a yellow line, and it's about starvation. But there's also starvation that's got a huge blue line. They don't care. So I don't know what were people think. What were you guys thinking when you guys filled this out when it comes to starvation? Is that thumbs up? We're good. Go ahead and starve us. Or hey, I really don't want to get into that kind of a food topic situation.
I will say that often, and this is just me, if I see a red, I default to nope. It's I personally don't have a huge issue with it, but I would prefer other story choices first.
Or starvation.
Yeah.
Or okay, no, yeah. I mean, the worst that's gonna happen is you guys are on an island and you've got to find stuff. It's not like okay, I'm gonna starve you to death. I'm not gonna do that. Terrorism, we have it can come or go, but three of you were like, yeah, I don't care. Torture, two of you are red, one of you is blue, one of you is I don't care. I'm going to actually say this about torture. The only type of torture I'm going to do is it probably won't be two PCs. It'll probably be the NPCs that you guys won't be able to intervene in, because I want to take your arc away from you and stuff like that. I want you to do what you want to do. And again, like I said, I'm a linear sandbox GM, meaning that I'm going to give you things and we'll figure out where the story goes based off of your guys' reaction and things like that. And what I mean by linear, that means I'm not going to railroad you, but I'm going to kind of shove you in one direction. Cool? All right. How do you feel about permanent death of player characters? 50% of you is okay, but I'd have to discuss it when it comes up. And other 50% of you is whatever. I'm good. Kill me. All right.
But if I die. It was probably my fault.
Right. So Legends of Kralis is a very deadly system. It really is. When it comes down to it, I can kill you with one die roll. There is the absolute possibility that's going to happen. But it's also vice versa, where you guys will come in like that. But you guys have these really great things. They're called heroic luck. And the more heroic luck you have, the more ability you have to change the story happens. If you get hit, and I'm like, okay, I just rolled a crit, and I will tell you, I just rolled a crit. Do you want to ignore that crit? You can spend 2 heroic luck, which, yeah, I'm not going to play that game. Or, you know what? Let's go ahead and see what happens. And I roll a 10. I'm like, okay, I rolled another 10. Now I'm at like 19 successes against you. You can decide to go, you know what? I really want to ignore that. Can we just not do that? There's also another ability if you have at least 4 or 5 heroic luck that you can completely ignore an attack that ever happened to you. And this is up to your guys' decisions. And it'll be interesting because heroic luck is a valued commodity in Legends of Kralis. I mean, literally, if this is actually if we ever do a reverse stream where I'm streaming on Hilarious Gaming and D&D Denial is hosting, you will see people come in and say, okay, I've got points, 1500. They'll drop bits to give you guys heroic luck. And it's crazy. So they'll do that as well. And stuff like that. So how are you? So those of you, so that's how death will happen, right? It won't happen instantaneously. And let's say that you don't have heroic luck and you are down. So the way that works is this: at the beginning of your turn, you get to make what's called a holding 0 check, which is just a stamina check, TS of 1. As long as you make it, you're still up and moving. You can move 5 feet and do 1 action per turn, whether that's defend or attack, or I'm gonna like crawl my rear end around the door and hopefully someone will come find me and stop my bleeding, or you can stop your own bleeding. Every turn that you do not get your bleeding doesn't get staunched or stopped, that TS goes up by 1. Now, true death doesn't happen until you guys reach your stamina score in negative health. So that's a very important thing to remember, is that if you get to that, that's when you want to spend the 10 heroic luck, and somehow you survived the killing blow that could have taken off half your head and you survived. We don't know. It's like the dinosaurs biting on you, right? and he spits you out and you're missing an arm and a leg, maybe an eye. But we have capabilities of fixing that with you so you can keep your same character. So don't give up on your character just because the dinosaur is biting on you. You guys good with that?
Yep.
Does that help with the death thing a little bit more?
Yes,
I think so.
I think death is the potentiality of death can be a gripping story, in my opinion. PCs get too cocky when invincible. I don't know who wrote that, but I agree.
Where is that
Um,
written? That's
Correct.
amazing.
I don't know who did it. It's just a response. So, how do you feel about permanent death of significant NPCs? I will kill NPCs as I need. Now,
Do it. Wrench out my heart.
I will wrench out your heart with this. If you get it's attached to it, I will wrench it out.
Yes.
I will say this, even though he's stepped away, he probably can still hear us. I will not directly attack your animals unless you put them in the way. If you put them in harm's way, that's your action. This is just going to be the result of that. And I need you guys to understand that.
Mhm.
Cool? Because
But
he's got
in the way.
they've
so
got
now
a
you're
wolf,
getting it.
right? They've got a wolf. You put it in the way, or if or if the dog or something decides to go and do it on its own, and there's that potentiality for it to go, oh well, look, you're down. I'm gonna go, and then that's a little different. Predominantly, unless it's going to add something to the story, it'll be the dog is knocked out, or the wolf is knocked out, or your ferret, kind of limps off into the darkness, and then 2 hours later kind of finds you, right? That kind of thing. So it's not, I won't, and I will never torture animals. We've already established that. You will not torture animals. Looking at you guys. All right.
Not my ferret.
Not my ferret.
Anything but the ferret.
So I know additional topics that were not covered. I've already talked to the one individual that said that's a specific disorder is red for them. Doesn't matter what it is. I understand. We won't be doing that, so you're good. I got you. Is there content you definitely want to see in the game? And whoever said I'm just excited to be part of it, I believe that's Isaiah, to be honest with you. Is there anything that you would definitely want to see in the game?
Are you asking Isaiah or all of us?
All of you.
That was my question too.
I want opportunities for us to get it to be into like I don't know who's played Final Fantasy VII, but I love gold saucer opportunities. Just
Right.
like opportunities to throw your characters into like something that is meant to be a good fun time and see what happens. So, in between us getting our butts kicked.
Now, do you want that like more in downtime, or you want that as like a side story quest?
It
As
could
a
be
side story?
either.
Okay.
Like as a side story could be fun because there's also, the fun of what happens if there's a fight in an arcade. Like it's kind of that kind of vibe. I often, as my own DM, I am a fan of causing fights at parties. So you never know.
Like a beach episode in anime.
Yes, like the
kinda-
beach episode. Like the beach episode.
The beach episode. All right.
episode.
There is
always
a single response to this, and I'm open to you. I am a facilitator. I am the river to my people. If you have something that you need to talk about, I don't care. Hit me up in Discord. I am an open book, and being, an educator myself and all this other stuff, there's very little that you can ask me that I'll be like, dare you? Because it's just the way I am. So, any questions, comments, concerns? What do you guys think? You guys ready?
I know that apparently, I think your big twist has been spoiled. The Speed of Candy just said that the ferret is secretly the BBEG.
Thanks, Speed of Candy. Now, all right, we're done. See you guys later. We're out. You ruined it.
Good stream.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks for being here. See you guys later. Game over. Let's start again next week.
See you next time.
I have enough. So there will be BBEGs. Some of them will be in your face, like this is happening now. Wait, where did that dragon come from? Kind of episodes, right? Those kind of things. Wait a minute. And you may come face to face with the BBEG, and you will know it's the BBEG, because they will tinker with you and play with you, and like a
We will know
Rubik's
it's-
Cube, and you will know it and you will like it. But we will
know
see
it's-
what happens.
We will know it's the BBG because it will be a ferret.
Right, it'll be a ferret, right? Oh, I am so using that now. There will be ferrets everywhere.
Oh no!
Wait, is that the
Candy, when you're
BBG?
done. Read the candy when you're done.
So this is the way we're going to do it. And since we're kind of starting to become friends in this particular thing, we've never really experienced games together with this, and you guys have never worked with each other on your characters. So it is dawn in Dadurashiva. You've all arrived into the Eastern Districts. The Eastern District is known as the shipping port for Dadurashiva. Now, Dadurashiva is a large landlocked city. In modern views, think of it as 1881 Paris. There is a large river that flows through the center of the city. The city is coordinated off by two gigantic walls because it's a city that sits in the middle of nowhere. Well, not really in the middle of nowhere, but it is a landlocked city. It's got the shield wall on the outside, and then it's got the crown that sits in the center where the Senate and all the administrative of the city actually takes place. The other districts are the Northern District, where the wealthy of the wealthiest live, the Western District, where the up-and-coming businessmen tend to live. Then you have the Trade District and the Southern District, which is more or less the blue class of people and species that are there. And then you have the Eastern District, which is quite essentially the docking port of airships and some riverboats for transportation to Dadurashiva. You've all arrived. It's dawn. It's a little gray mist coming up off the river. Not much. It's cool, but not crisp. Layla, what's going on?
Have we traveled as a group or individually? We
Individually.
Have not met yet.
Individually.
So I do my best to be the first to get off the ship because I gotta be the first to get off the ship. And I
Do you come by
give-
river? Do you come by the river, or do you come by airship?
I think whichever is more affordable, my friend. I did. I've been busking, but I don't have the most coin right now. I got a makeup kit, which kind of was my investment for the month. You notice that my whiskers look very glamorous. So whatever's cheaper. Is it cheaper to go by boat or air?
Probably by boat, and it wouldn't be a very good boat. It would be one of those barges that has a lot of containers on it, doesn't smell very well, and you may have found a small spot that the captain's like, listen, if you need a ride, we'll take you. You can fit in the corner because you're not that big anyway, so just stay out of our way and you'll be good.
I'm a whopping 4'4".
You're still taller than most species. The Manics themselves get to no higher than 3'3". And the Balian actually are even a little smaller than them, but not by much. But you're still pretty tall.
So I think what happens is I've been sitting on one of the boxes, and as the ship comes in, I kind of look at the captain. I go, "Thanks for the lift," and do a bit. I toss him one spare coin that I have out of my 5, and I just take off down the dock to the city.
All right, very good. So the way the city is laid out along the river for this is you've got your normal docks, and then it kind of pulls into some warehouses, and then beyond the warehouses are shops and other things like that. And then there's a main thoroughfare there that kind of opens you up to the city. And that's where we kind of find a single Tajahu making their way down this main thoroughfare. Have you come by airship or boat yourself in this first morning?
Nope. Going by boat too. Cheapest method of travel for me.
So would it be fair to retcon that maybe the two of you know each other?
That would depend because I'm a little known. If people know how to look for me, I'm a bit of a name in a couple cities. Some people might know me. But
So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and have you roll a reputation.
First
There.
roll, no stress.
No
First roll.
stress.
And what's
No,
interesting about the reputation is it's neither fail or success.
We're
if you
basically
succeed.
seeing if he recognizes
If
me.
he recognizes you, right?
Okay, and this is a reputation check.
Second page, top of your personal information.
Welcome to the figuring out the system. Second page. There's my reputation. Wait. I'm sorry. Where is the reputation that I roll? Because I just see that reputation is my motivation.
Well, yeah, but so there's your aspects, your motivations, and then your reputation as a score.
Can you remind me, please, of where to find that?
It's literally right next to well, let me pull up my
Oh, I see it. I'm so
It's
sorry.
right
I
under
was
the
confused by age. My reputation is a 15. so this is a D100 and a D10.
yeah, it's just yeah, so yeah, it'll be the percentile dice plus a D10.
All right. That's an 85.
So, Ellen, you see this hapstance, boisterous in their own terms, Lionak Jakara come bounding out of one of the alleys that's in part of the district, kind of where you came from, and literally almost smashes into you. And you kind of recognize the fact that, well, maybe it's just a Linax. But maybe, just maybe, that was the Linax that stole that crown jewel a couple days ago. But you're not really sure. It could be. But you know, all Jaga look the same.
Yeah, pretty
Rude.
much.
So for those of you watching, Jaga is a derogatory term which basically is in effect calling a Jakara a kitty or a kitten, which is not a good thing to do.
I think I almost run into to Ellen and go, oh, excuse me, sir, and I just to try to go around for a moment, just
He'll basically just kind of like tense up and just not really, just like wait for her to pass, just like when a squirrel hears something that's not supposed to be there, just kind of stops and just waits for them to. Okay, as soon as they're gone, I'm just gonna move on now.
All right, very good. As you guys are kind of like doing this interaction here, where you're kind of like stopping and letting this car kind of dance in front of you, almost running into you, her tail flopping in your face a little bit because you're not that much taller than she is. You see a gruff looking, I wouldn't say angry, but their visage, it tends to give off the expression of, don't mess with me. As you, Layla, while you're concerned with not hitting this Tajahu next to you, recklessly bounds into the rear end of a Rakas, just standing in the street waiting for something to happen, I guess.
oh,
More or less, probably looking at the fact that there's a lovely inn and tavern that looks like it's just opening. Bajra, you just got ramshackled from behind. What do you do?
Looks down at her like, watch it next time. All right.
why are you just standing in the street?
That's for me to know and for you to find out. Or don't.
Or don't. It's cool.
Okay, I'm sorry. And I think Layla quite a bit of the wind has gone out of my sails. I have almost hit one person. I straight up ran into another, and I think my little ears with the tufts just droop just a little bit. Just a little
Yeah,
Little
she's
bit.
tall. She's
Oh,
tall.
and straight up just like, huh?
Well, isn't she like closer to like almost 6 foot or 6
She's
foot 6?
5'9".
5'9", yeah. So she's pretty tall. Comparatively, she's
She's
tall.
She's tall.
She's very tall.
Yeah, I think, is there a place that I can just kind of like sit and collect myself a little?
It would be the ground right in front of you as you basically just decide to just sit down. I can't believe
Yeah,
this.
it's like, this has been a bad first introduction.
I messed this one up, man. Ahote, you come out of the Dashing Dragon Cantina and Inn. Oh, we just lost somebody. Who did we lose?
No, we didn't. We
No.
have someone join.
Dee Dee, sorry, you can't be here, kiddo.
Oh shit, wrong. I'm so sorry. Wrong.
Wrong channel, huh?
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
It's okay, kiddo.
All good.
Bye.
Bye. So that's actually one of my other players on every other Sunday. She and a couple of other are actually in the void trying to chase down a criminal organization. I like criminal organizations. I watch a lot of CSI, if you don't know where I'm coming from. So watch out. Anyways,
I mean, with criminal organizations, you could watch Marvel as well and kind of get the same.
right? Do not be surprised if you hear a Hell Hydra somewhere in the background.
No.
So
No.
you come bounding. You don't come bounding out. You step out of the Dashing Dragon Cantina and Inn, and in front of you is kind of a fiasco. There is a Jakara sitting on the floor, a small one by the way, a Rakas that's kind of just turned around and is giving them the stink eye, and then next to them is a Tajahu kind of just bemused by this entire thing that just happened. What do you do?
Proudly walking out with my chest high because I have 4 arms and I feel invincible. I look out and I'm just, what are y'all doing? And why in the street?
She was standing there, and I didn't know she was there.
And
Yeah,
with,
and you ran into me.
I said I was sorry.
And
Okay.
with that, let's go ahead and get a character description. We'll start with let's start with the new kid on the block, Bajra.
Oh.
Let me put you on the spot. What
Good
does
news, I love
Bajra
Bajra.
look like?
Bajra is, we already mentioned she's tall, tall-ish. She's got this powdery white skin with dark black hair that's shaved on one side, much like myself. She's got these bright purple eyes. She's in a hood. She's got a hood and a mask up covering her face. 'Cause even though it's dawn out here, it's too gosh darn bright out here. And she's got a bow on her back, a quiver, a bounding of rope attached to her belt behind her, and like a scarf that comes over her hip. And yeah, she looks a little rough for wear. She did not travel here by boat or airship. She came here by foot, and it's been rough. So she's a little worn, a little moody.
A little
A
moody.
little moody. She's 17 years old. She's moody.
Next, let's Ahote. You know, a lot of people have never really seen in a series or know what in a series is. What's Ahote look like?
Okay, well, I have a kind of like a crimson chin, chiseled face, just without the chin being extra long. I have like silvery white hair, which is kind of put up in a man bun to a traditional style that I like. My eyes are really big, but they're almost bluish. They're like a bright blue. Um, I do have 4 arms. I also have these. What is it called? Sorry, they look like metal rings that I'm wearing. I have them on all 4 hands. Um, they're kind of like brass knuckles, but they're a little more flashier. For the most part, my head looks normal, except for my really pointy ears, but I'm really short. I'm like a very short cousin of an elf with extra amenities.
Amazing.
So one of the things that he didn't express is that a series are almost an emotionalist species, but they're very well driven by their emotion. And the way you can tell is they have these bands, these colored bands that run down from about their mid forehead all the way down their back and across part of their arms. And these bands change colors based on the emotion that they are feeling at the moment. And these bands
And
can range anywhere from red for anger or black for anger to light blue or pink for happiness or contentment. What bands are you displaying right now? Do you think?
right now, I'm displaying a not a bright, but kind of like a mellow yellow
Mellow yellow.
colorish. It just seems very calming, as if like the sun decided to say, "I'm here, but you don't really need to worry
Aw.
about me right now."
Oh, I love that.
Interesting. So next we will go ahead and we will move up to the Tajahu.
Um. Well, Ellen is, I guess, tall for this crew. 5'6". So she's been running into all the tall people. Uh, he's got long, almost um almost black hair that's hangs down to his shoulders and kind of a short beard. His skin is kind of a copperish color, and he's got deep green eyes. Just kind of a stern expression. Not exactly emotionless, almost there, but with a little bit of a touch of I'm kind of annoyed all the time. Uh, just the old man done with everything, get off my lawn type of look on his face. Uh,
You
and
old kids.
Yeah, and except he's not like built like an old man. He's fairly skinny. He's only about 135 pounds, um, which is normal for his species, but it still makes him look lanky and a lot less intimidating than I feel like he would really like.
And what's interesting about the Tajahu is they are they have no pupils, right? So when he says his eyes are that color, they are one solid color. Um, they are
Got it.
also, as species themselves, it's not like you guys don't know anything about the other species, but in general, you know that for Tajahu, the honor of their house almost drives who they are almost all the time. Now there are times where those houses have been overtaken and perhaps even absorbed into other houses. But you know that honor for the Tajahu, along with the Rakas, is very important to them. So the two species have at times had honor wars where they have run into each other, and one's honor demands this, the other's honors demands that, and there's been tussles definitely throughout the centuries and throughout the ages. And finally, we have Layla. Now, I have to say, as a GM, when we were rolling up this character, the way we rolled up this character, it just kept evolving exactly where it wanted to go. And it turned out to be an amazing character. And I think I'm going to have a lot of fun torturing this one. She just set
Oh,
this all
please,
up. I'm like,
please break her. She's
it's
far
like
too
bread. It's like
exuberant.
bread. It's like warm bread. And I'm just going to put a layer of nice homemade butter on that. I'm
But
gonna
you can do
devour
anything
this.
with it.
Right,
Ah,
exactly.
Turn into
So,
a bread
ah.
bowl.
right.
Ooh, now I
Delightful.
want a bread bowl. Thanks.
Thanks, you got me hungry now.
Um,
Layla, who? Let's talk about you for a minute.
let's talk about Layla. Layla, as previously described, is a Lilac Jacare, which is one of the smaller Jacare. There are Tigris and other types, but she is, actually fairly average. She's about 4'4", which is fairly tall, middling for her race. But she has, the typical tannish fur, brown fur. Not a lot of markings, like little black markings, especially on her ears. She has those little fluffy tufts, those classic fluffy tufts on her ears, which are currently drooping. Um, you get the sense that she puts on a lot of exuberance, and it can be very easily buffeted out of her. But overall, is very light-hearted and very much enjoys herself. Her outfit, straight up, is inspired by a certain bard from a certain show that involves tossing a coin to someone. You know, for legal reasons, we can't say what it is, but
What, we can't say it's from The Witcher?
it's fine. I'm totally joking. Yeah, very Jaskier from The Witcher. All jokes aside, she's very much got that tunic that's laced up. She looks like a traveling bard. Honestly, you see that she has a rapier at her side, but she also, I bought myself a guitar. She's she has a guitar strapped to her back. Um, and she's currently sitting on the ground, cross-legged, pouting just a little bit. She is 20, so she is also whippersnappers than
Well, that kind of brings up the whole question for me now is how old? So we know that we have a 17-year-old. We've got a 20-year-old. How old is a Hote?
Ahote is 27 years old.
How old is Ellen?
We don't talk about that.
Like rude, like you don't ask a lady her age. Like
Right, we don't talk about that.
ask
How old
Ellen
is
her
Ellen? How
age.
old is Ellen?
can't ask Ellen her age.
Apparently, androgynous nerdboy just said, "Nice, delicious angst aioli."
Delightful.
Do you want to reveal how old Ellen is comparatively?
I think I'll let it lie for now.
Let it marinate.
Let's
He's
put
a
it
little
this
bit
way.
closed off about it.
Let's put it this way. You all are about the same age in relative terms, right? I mean, you've got the upstart teenager and the older, wiser, well, wants to be wiser, Tajahu. And you guys are all about the same age. So it's interesting. We'll see what happens, see where this goes. I'm excited about this.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. Physically, he's the equivalent of like a 25-year-old of his species. or
Right.
so.
That you're right. That's about where he stands, right?
Usually we're all
we
about.
don't talk about Ellen. Yeah, we don't talk about
We
Ellen.
don't talk about
Just
Ellen.
don't do that. So
The
you
memes
guys,
have begun.
you guys have kind of come together in this weird kind of amalgam of accident, slamming into each other, and basically what the fuck, right? And again, you guys are standing outside of a cantina called the Dashing Dragon, and it's starting to become it's more mid-morning. It's still morning, but it's more mid-morning. So you have a lot of sailors and a lot of airship sailors and things like that making their way to various locations. And one of the locations that seems to be kind of interesting is the Dashing Dragon. Yes, I am pushing you towards the Dashing Dragon. Take the bait and run.
You actually see through a little bit of a small pout, you see Layla brushes off her trousers, gets up and says, "Can I make?" She looks up at, at the very tall lady at Bajra and says, "Can I make it up to you and buy you some breakfast?"
You'll buy me breakfast.
I don't know. What do you like to eat?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I got-
Do you two want breakfast?
I kind of just ate. That's why I was walking out.
Do you want a drink?
Drinks are on the table.
Sure. And I just turn around and walk right back in.
That sounds like a
and-
great breakfast.
I've never denied it.
And I look at
Little
Ellen
hair
and I
of the
go,
dog.
"What about you? You want anything? I just got some money from a gig."
As long as I'm not paying, I suppose I'm all right with it.
You're not paying. Come on. And she, with a little less pep in her step, goes into the cantina.
So the cantina itself, you guys, I assume you guys are all just kind of piling in and going to a table. Is that would that be
Yeah,
safe
well,
to
no-
say?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bajra would be the last one in, kind of looking around and then just going back in.
Being that moody teenager, I don't know if I want to do this now. This is.
I don't
just
know if I
not-
wanna do this.
Yeah.
Seems
All
lame.
right,
I
I'll
look at you
go.
and I go, I'm literally buying you food. Do you want the
And
food?
that's why I'm coming.
Okay.
You guys make
All
it
the
into
eye rolls.
the eye roll says, "Oh my gosh, she's such a teenager."
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god. You make it into the cantina, and it's fairly busy, right? There's a number of different species that are there. One table is taken up by a large four group of Bahul. In the back corner is a troll, kind of just standing there, like looking over everything. Like he knows who to look out for. You know, the bouncer types. And then you have a couple of other I don't want to say barmaids because they're not barmaids, but they're definitely taking care of the crowd, right? They're getting drinks, they're getting foods, they're getting eggs. In the back, you hear something crash and shatter, and there's this amazing smell of fried, greasy foods combined with this chalkiness of a smell of like food that is being overcooked or undercooked, and maybe pastries being made and stuff like that.
This regulation.
Thanks for that, Isaiah. And so you guys, even when you walk back in, Ohote, you're like, yeah, I already eaten. Well, you know that really smells good. I could do that again. And you guys sit down and start to have drinks delivered, food. Some of the more things that you guys see are these large plates of these eggs, and these eggs are fairly large comparatively. If you've ever seen just to give a real world example, ostrich egg, and they're coming out like one egg at a time, like that big kind of thing, big slabs, chunks of meat. There's steaming plates of vegetables coming out to other tables. It seems very, very, very busy. And as you guys sit down and start ordering these things, any specific drink you might want to ask for or food that may or may not be on the table or the menu?
Milk, please. Thank you.
Milk?
Yep.
Okay. They can bring you.
It's morning, correct?
Well, it's not like 6 a.m. morning, right? It's not that kind of morning. It's more like 10, 11. It's getting ready to move into noon as you guys finally get all this together. And it's still grayish outside. The way that Dota Shiva sits is it sits in a hill, in a hilly area, and it kind of sits in the center of these hills. So it's almost as if the mist from the river is what causes most of the grayness to happen in the city. And it also doesn't help that there is smoke and iron, steel, and those kind of things floating in the city as well. It's a very high productive city. It has a population of just under 9 million in the city itself, with another 1.5 million in surrounding communities outside of it, including the shanty towns, the farms, and everything else. So it is the mecca of meccas of the world as you guys have come to know it.
I understood everything you said, but all I really heard was that it's a perfect time for mimosas.
I was about to say it's
Time.
mimosa. I think as soon
Mimosa
as I
time.
see a Hote order, when I go, I change my order.
All right. So you're going to
Leads to
change
the
it?
question: is there a drinking age here?
Yeah, is there?
Like, am I gonna get ID'd?
No, it's not. It's so in yeah, there is no like, oh, you're a little young, right? I mean, if a 5-year-old walked in and said, hey, can I have a mimosa? I mean, come on. It could be a it could be a polymorph mage. We don't know this. I mean,
Valid.
it could be a Havatu who just hasn't, matured yet. I mean, come on. So when it comes down to it, you got children, you got full-grown species that kind of look like children, but they're not children. They're Havatu, and then you got the Kova, who are much bigger and angrier than most people, which are your distant cousins, by the way, Bajra. When it comes to that. And then you have full-on trolls. You guys have seen those in the player's guide, so you know what they look like. You got Elwyn that have very long ears and come from another dimension altogether, who at a distance, you go, hey, that's a kid. But it's really a 50-year-old man, right? Benjamin Buttons going backwards, in a sense.
Benjamin Buttons! Amazing.
Benjamin Buttons.
So there's no like, oh, well, you're too young. No, I mean, come on. You're in the Eastern District, right? Eastern District is home and serves ships, airships, riverboats. There are other criminal organizations that are known to haunt this particular district. In fact, this district and the trade district have their reputations. As long as you're not a southerner, you're pretty much okay. But you know, sometimes you Easterners get a little weird. But you're new to Daduda Shiva, so who knows what's gonna happen. So you all want mimosas, is what I'm hearing.
I mean, is it mimosa o'clock? Are we doing?
It's
mimosa?
always mimosa o'clock. Are you kidding,
It's
Layla?
mimosa o'clock
I
somewhere.
order
There's
random
always-
mimosas.
Yeah, if Layla's buying, I'm doing the mimosas, the ale, the bread, the whole breakfast, that weird egg thing, the whole thing.
Right
Layla's
on.
Count
buying.
out my remaining silver and look very concerned.
How much does that cost?
You see what, like, I with my little claw, I'm like, okay, I did say, I mean, and you just see
Going
me
out.
mentally. I'm just like, how many times am I gonna have to either steal from the rich and give to the poor and save a little for myself? I mean,
Well, you know, steal from the rich
You
and give to
offer.
the poor. Often I'm the poor, so hey, that makes sense,
I'm
I
the
am-
poor.
right? Right.
I try to be good. I try to be good. And I think while I'm getting nervous, kind of like we're sitting there and I'm imagining we're not saying a lot, ordering, you see me pull out a pendant and start fidgeting with it. And it is a religious symbol. And I'm kind of like twirling between my fingers as I'm like, so, are any of you from here?
Let's do this. You mean from Darduda Shiva is what you're asking?
Yeah,
is
the
that correct?
city
Yeah.
exactly. Yes.
Before we move on with that, if anybody's interested, you guys could attempt a lore religion. Any one of you could, as an untrained skill check to see if you recognize what you think is a holy symbol that she's playing with at her neck.
I'll go for it.
Me just
I'll go for it too.
because I'd eyeball it. Untrained religion.
What's it made out of?
I
Layla?
think it's very. I think she made it out of wire. She found like copper wire behind. I found copper wire in like the waste that someone had thrown away from a craft shop, and I whirled it into my symbol. Because I can't afford a straight up pendant. So it's like a copper wire mixed with a couple of shiny stones I found.
I just rolled 101.
That would be a complete failure. You have no idea what you're looking
Not a
at.
clue. Not a clue.
That looks like a piece of wire that just like she twisted
Wait,
together.
can
and
you
it's,
roll a 101?
you can't really. So what you rolled, I think, if I may make a guess, you rolled a 0, and then a 1, correct?
Yes.
That would actually be an odd one, and that's considered the best roll you could possibly get in the game. So with that, go ahead and give
I
yourself
got an 84.
go ahead and give yourself a heroic luck.
Ooh.
Yes!
Rogue luck coming in.
Heroic luck for finding out
Now
what my
you get to
symbol
roll. Now you get to
was.
roll what's considered a critical dice determination. So roll the D10, the single one with the single digits again, and tell us how many what that number is.
Okay. 6.
6. So you got an additional 6 successes. I take it lore religion is not a trained skill for you. Is this correct?
It is not.
So you have a base of 30 plus your charisma modifier, your intelligence modifier, and I think that's what, a 3 or a 4?
Charisma?
No,
It is
intelligence.
3. Oh, 4.
4.
Oh,
so
intelligence. Sorry. 7.
See 7. So I completely missed. So 37. You got 4. You got 10 successes. As soon as she starts doing this, the glint in your eye, you're like, oh, I recognize that symbol. Anybody else success with this?
I got a 15.
I rolled
Okay.
an 84, so no.
Yeah, you're like, hey, that's a piece of nice wire you got there. The other two, I'm not going to put this in the Discord. You recognize the symbol as that being of Odiran. And specifically, since you did so well in your role, you get some definitely interesting information. Odiran is the so many notes in this world.
All the gods. All the gods.
If you could see my screen, you can you would see what I'm dealing
I
with
have
here.
it in front of me. I could always.
So
flash.
Odiran is known as
Note-taker.
it's known as the wise father, the goddess of wisdom, the true word, the unknown, the discoverable. Often worshipped by spellcasters, bards, scholars, scribes, and sages. And they have a church, but it is a church of knowledge more than it is anything. They are well known as people who sit back and transcribe the world into volumes and volumes of literature.
So with that knowledge, I take a sip.
And so for you, Silky, that you kind of know that she's looks like she's either a priest or a priestess of Odirin. You know that it's a knowledge god.
It's pretty dope. What I got?
Huh? It's pretty dope. It literally goes, what's dope?
Nothing.
I take a
Okay.
sip and I see you fidgeting, and I'm like, a follower of Odirin, are you?
Yeah. I mean, there's something to be said about searching for and finding all knowledge, right? It's why I travel. Why I'm here.
Interesting. To answer your question, I am not from here.
Me neither.
I'm
How
not
about you?
either.
And you, very serious looking man.
How long does it take them to cook a couple of eggs? Oh, I'm sorry. You were saying?
I was asking if you're from the city.
Oh, no.
Also, you did order the eggs done over hard. That might be why.
I did.
Oh no, he's
Are
losing
you?
already.
Oh, that's all right. Okay, all right.
Yeah, I lean to Baja and I go, I have no idea how he ordered them. I'm just trying to make him feel better.
He's very concerned because he likes them. Well, you'll see when they come. But
Oh no, I straight up said it knowing darn well I had no idea how you ordered
My
them.
age, how I like my eggs, you know nothing.
he just presumes maybe that's how we order them. He's like, that's funny. I don't normally like them
I
that
know.
way, but okay.
Okay, however they come, I guess.
I guess if this line act says so, I guess that's what I told him first. I have no idea. I'm just trying to make him feel better. He looks really concerned, and I'm very worried about him.
So
Looks like he's about to fall asleep.
your mimosas have arrived. They are a deep orange with, and when you bring it up to smell it, you kind of cough because you've never smelt alcohol this strong before in a drink like this. And you're not quite sure if you actually ordered mimosas or a mamasa. You're not we don't know what's in the drink, but it's very strong. But it's got an orangey lemon smell to it as well. But it's that smell. You guys, you know what I'm talking about when you put in too much rum into your Coke and you, oh wow, okay. That's a little much. I'm gonna have to
Awakens the
milk this one
sinuses.
for a while. And
The
even though
mind-
you did say cancel your order, it didn't quite make it back to the kitchen. And there is a small glass of milk that has been delivered to your table as well.
Okay.
Along with that, a few minutes later comes your guys' breakfast. Ellen, it is a large egg with a side of like these mashed up potatoes that have been fried, and a large side of bacon that's cooked like bacon, but you have to slice it yourself. Layla, I assume eggs and meat as well?
Oh, for sure.
Okay,
Get
yeah.
me some of that carnivore instinct.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
Sure.
You actually your egg comes out, but on top of that is this large hammock. Ham leg? Hammock? Why did I say hammock?
Ham hock?
Ham hock.
Ham hock.
Thank you. Ham hock.
Yeah.
I knew what I was trying to say. Brain not working.
We knew.
Bajra, what's come out to you are these stacks of these pastries, 4 or 5 different types of meat products. We're not really sure what they are, but they're meat
I don't know
products of some
either.
sort. And then Ohote, what did you order anything? Did you order?
After smelling that deliciousness, after hearing that fall, I decided to get a small order of meat, just a little bit more.
All right. So yours comes out. So they do have a special recipe in a sense where it is a caramelized maple layer of pork.
So when I smell the drink, you see me turn like yellowish, bluish, bright yellowish, bluish because I'm like nervous but excited for this drink. And as the dish comes out for me to eat, it's just completely blue. I'm very
Just
excited.
you're excited about to go right about it.
Very
He's on.
excited.
Okay.
So you guys spend the next, we'll say the next hour you guys are going to spend eating. And this is, I'm going to turn this over to you guys for you guys to kind of develop your party personalities, what I like to call it, and see where you guys go with this. However, I will be calling for an alertness check. And if you do not have an alertness check, I will be calling for a perception check for something to happen.
Wait, for what check instead of a?
It'll either be an alertness check or a perception check.
Got it.
Depending on what I'm not exactly sure what I want to do with this one just yet, but just let you guys know that's on tap. So please become
I
a
have
party.
one.
I have a quick question, real
Yeah.
quick.
Absolutely.
as well.
He would have ordered it. Okay, yeah, he would have ordered it. Good grief, I never can remember the correct name. My mom always called them dippy eggs. So I always just, and you
Benedict?
say dippy eggs in a restaurant, and they just look at you weird. It's where
Or
the
like
yolk
over
is
easy?
raw and the rest of the egg is cooked. Over
Sunny
easy,
side.
that-
easy.
Over
okay.
Sunny
easy,
side.
yeah.
Sunny
over
side,
easy.
yeah.
Sunny
Sunny
side.
side,
Sunny
sunny
side.
side, yeah.
Okay.
That's why it was so
I just say
confusing when
dippy
you
eggs and get a
looked
weird
at the
look from the
room.
waiter every time.
Yeah, so from now on,
Yeah,
you are
yeah.
never allowed
How
to,
did they
if you
come?
ever come to a restaurant ever again in Kralis and call them Sunnyside, they will be forever known as canon as dippy eggs.
Dippy
Yes,
eggs.
new canon.
You
Make it
see,
canon.
as
Dippy
eggs
eggs. I'm
come
actually going
over-
to add that to the guide
Yes.
itself and say certain restaurants will say
Ooh.
dippy eggs. And then I'm going to put an asterisk. In real terms, this is a sunny side up.
Sunny side.
You see, as the eggs get
I
delivered
love
to Ellen, you see that kind of. I get a guilty look on my face. I go, "Yeah, I forgot that you actually ordered them the complete opposite. You just looked really concerned, and I was trying to make you feel better." I think I
He'll
made it
kind of like
worse.
he'll raise an eyebrow at her and just kind of like,
Sunny and
Thank
runny.
you.
That is probably Sunny and runny.
yes.
You raise an eyebrow and
Ooh,
what?
I like that. Oh, he'll raise an eyebrow as he'll pick up not his fork but his spoon. And he'll say, "Well, thank you, just the same." And he'll proceed to start by just like breaking the yolk and kind of filling that with the raw yolk, and then just sipping it kind of like one would when testing tea. And he'll proceed to kind of like, well, kind of treat it like soup, and then proceed to eat the rest of the egg from the yolk out.
Is this a GM? Is this a normal
I have no idea.
This
It's
this
just
is
in
this
my
is
head.
where in a GM's life where they've spent time writing this massive lore, volumes of lore on the various species, and this is the one part of the species lore we never really get into, of like the eating habits of the local indigenous species of the world. However, give me a minute. I can tell you exactly what some of their favorite food is. I've actually got it written down. I just got to
And
get
my
to it.
I did have one question for you, really
Yeah.
quickly, out of character. I don't think I ever discussed where I'm from, so I'm trying to figure out, like, in relation, how far have I traveled?
So you would have traveled. So there is a specific land for the Jakara, which is called Jailak, and it's literally it is a huge forest that they have spent the last 1,000 years cultivating and actually giving it
Yes.
life. And so
Yes.
that's really north. I mean, it's at least 1,000 miles north of where Dardura Shiva sits. That means you would have had to come down along the Blue Mountains and traveled along probably either across the Durdan Sea or along its shores, and then come across one of the hills and found, like, you just found a barge that was on the farthest part of the river, where literally the head of the river is. You're like, hey, I'm tired of walking, and they're like, okay.
That's
Right.
exactly what happened.
I think that's the best way to describe that, because I mean, you can come from anywhere, but that's the homeland of the Jakara. You could literally say that you came from somewhere in the southern realms. You know, I mean, maybe you have a small clan, a family clan that traveled out. They're not known for that, and they would have, probably set up a small village or residents in a village or even another town, and you heard of Dardota Shiva and decided, you know what, I want to go see this city. I've never seen a city.
I think that's what happened. Is I grew up in this kind of small clan and had got those kind of grandiose big kitty ideas. I only have 9 lives. I gotta live them. Um, and I think I look at the group and I just say, I guess I don't know where you all are from, but I've always wanted to come here, and I didn't think I was going to come here and drink very, very strong drinks with people I ran into.
So out of character, I need to stop the game here for just a minute. I think, and this is going to be something you guys are going to have to like read. Did I not send you guys each, and I probably didn't, and I probably meant to, basically a small dissertation, I mean, it's dissertation on each of your species, which includes your the general psychology, society and culture, family structure, the communities, arts, customs and traditions and beliefs, marriages, holy. I did that would be a negatory. All right. So what I will do tomorrow when I wake up, I will send you all this. So for food for the Tajahu, since we're here, only humans are known to have a greater field of traditional foods than the Tajahu, which have played an important part of the Tajahu culture, identity, and heritage. Much of what consists of your diet is filled with spices and is built around the use of predominantly fish, fowl, and gestal, which is a type of domestic bovine similar between. They took a goat and a sheep and went right. Essentially, you prefer really rich, flavorful, and diverse tastes for the most part. But you have a wide variety of what you like to eat, right? And it is made up from a wide variety of original cuisines throughout the various parts of the world and the omniverse. There's also another note here. It says cultural tradition and religion also play a significant roles in influencing to the cuisines and the diets of the Tajahu. And one thing I'm going to make all of you roll is a lore species. And I'm going to give you one interesting fact about each of your species that the other species would know about. Cool?
I have nothing for this.
Ooh,
You didn't? Would you roll?
19.
I put lore into streetwise.
Oh, that's fine. No, this is just a lore straight up species, right? Just and there's no failure. It'll either be a true fact or it'll be a false fact. I'm gonna let you run with it.
I got a 19.
19. Ahote, you know the Tajahu are. You've heard that they're cannibals.
I got a 77.
You've heard that the Assyries don't give live birth. The males carry around eggs.
I stare at Ahote for a moment.
What about you, Bagram?
I'm eating with 4 arms.
I got a 90.
90. You've heard that Jakara lose their fur once every 7 years as they replenish their coat.
Oh, shed.
Massive shed, right? They're just walking around one day and it just all falls off.
What's the name of the Egyptian cat that's just bald?
The head of a fly. Yes, for a week. Freaking Layla. Don't look at me.
All at once, too. It's not like a gradual thing.
It's all at once. They're just walking along and.
I need a moment. Hide at once.
All right, so
I call
Ellen.
those cats the Yoda on a diet cat.
Yoda on a diet cat.
That's true.
I rolled a 1.
And roll your D100. Your just a D10 to see how many more successes you got.
Amazing.
All right.
Second one of the session.
That's 8.
So give yourself a heroic luck for rolling an Ot 1. That's an important thing to make sure you guys
Yay.
play. And you got an 8, so that's going to be 11 successes.
That's amazing.
Sweet.
For this one, I'm actually going to pull on the actual lore that I've written for these guys. This is about the Rakas.
I had to just inform Androgynous Nerdboy. They said they missed the funny stuff. I said, we found out maybe that Lineax looks older for
No, that's not Lineax. That's Jakara's in general.
Jakara.
Right. So
Oh,
you.
and now people are
you have a
now
naked
you're
tiger.
right. They're like, hey, so is that where we get our cashmere from?
Hey!
Oh, oh.
At least y'all don't
Hey!
have to die.
Hey! Get away from my fur.
Here's something that is true, 100% true about a Rakat.
Unlike the other ones.
In their religious beliefs, they hold the belief that there's an existence of the soul, and the soul does not die with the body. Traditional religion for the Rakas has the belief that the good and bad spirits do exist, and that these do exist, and these religious spirits permeate every facet of life of the Rakas, which believes that anything can be imbued with spiritual significance. Sorcerers and diviners are seen to be meditating between deities and mortals, intercepting the gods' wishes to the mortal, interpreting for the mortal. It is thought that any Rakas that was ignorant of their nation and culture were considered soulless, which is a term that is called Tarfesnka, and would have no place in the celestial after death. And to be considered a Tarfeska is paramount to being dead, even though you're alive in the eyes of any Rakas.
Ooh.
Ooh. How do you spell that term?
That term is spelled TALNHEFSKA. ESKA.
Coming in here with the true fact while the rest of I'm just looking at a Hote going,
You have eggs?
right? You have eggs?
You carry eggs?
You carry
Whoa.
eggs? Whoa!
The true.
Oh my god, you carry eggs and the rest of us are eating eggs? Oh, yikes.
Look at my
Yeah,
plate.
so what I will do though is tomorrow I will send you guys each a small quick PDF that's probably got some serious editorial issues in it because I just was writing free form that I haven't gone back to correct. So please bear those in consideration when you read this. Like this sentence stops in mid-sentence. Just ignore that and move on because I haven't gone back and edited it yet. So I will. This is excellent. So you guys spend, like I said, the next hour getting to know each other. And again, I'm going to turn it over to you guys after you guys have that kind of a revelation about your species or the other species.
So as I'm like digging into my plate, I look over at is it Ellen?
Yes.
I look over at Ellen. I'm like, I thought y'all preferred other humanoids.
This is kind of like. Actually, you know what? Let's borrow you real quick. Who's gonna? Not. Not in most circumstances, no.
Is it normal for you to eat yolk soup?
I can't say. I mean, this is how I've always preferred to eat it, but I honestly don't know if any others prefer it this way, or this is just me.
Takes a bigger bite into my food.
And while you do that, I look at you and I say, are you okay with us eating eggs, considering the circumstances?
Markham, check your Discord. I just sent you why that's important to you as a species.
Oh, okay.
Are you all right with us
Yes.
eating eggs under the circumstances?
I look around. I'm like, yeah.
Hey, don't you carry eggs? Isn't that how it works?
Every now and then. Look at these eggs.
No,
They're
not
More
floating-
information, Markham.
Never mind. I turn to Vajra and I say, so is this worthy of a forgiveness for today?
She hasn't eaten anything. She ordered this and looked at it and realized the grave mistake that if she wants to eat, she has to take off her mask. So she's just looking.
I think you'd be okay.
Yeah.
For inside a building more than anything.
Okay. So she's still just like, she
You
made a
okay?
mistake. She just kind of looks around, then takes off her mask, and she's got big tusks. Big tusks. And then she just like downs her strong mimosa in like one.
Wait, you
I was
actually
like,
do that
okay.
in one sip?
Oh no!
Once. She's
I was
just
thinking
going
about
for
it,
it.
but I didn't want to risk it.
No.
She's going for. She's around all these older people. She's got to show off,
Welcome,
man.
welcome to TTRPGs. You have just made a grave error.
She's
What could
she's
go
got to make an
wrong?
There's some
impression.
excitement on the GM's face.
I know. Hilarious looks freaking thrilled right now.
Uh,
I think while you shotgun it, two things are going through my mind, which is one, you are the coolest looking person I've ever seen in my entire life. Layla is mildly enamored in just how cool she looks. And two, she looks over at Ahote and Ellen while she's chugging it and she whispers, "It was just me, or were those really strong?"
Okay. We'll see how bad this gets.
Oh
woo!
no.
Make a stamina check at a TSS 3. Now, what that means is you're going to roll underneath your stamina score, as you would normally anything else. And for every 10 you get below your stamina score is considered one success. So, for example, if your score is an 89 for your stamina and you roll a 50, you've actually got 3 successes. Cool?
Okay. Okay.
So make that roll, and let's just see what the rules say about alcohol and drinking.
We're starting strong.
Well, we are off to a great start. You guys wake up sometime later. No.
In a ditch.
Is this the
Down. Okay. Well, good news. I didn't fail.
You failed?
I didn't. No, I'm
Oh.
good. I rolled a 66. My stamina is 77.
Oh, you failed. Oh, you failed. You needed to
Oh,
get
I did?
Yeah, you would have needed to get a 40 something to have passed. You are inebriated. Highly inebriated. It's
Hey, Garrett.
so instant that it actually, you slam it, you're like, yeah, you just,
Yes.
right? You are effectively intoxicated. However, this is only stage 1.
As a 17-year-old should shotgunning.
Right. So if we were
Yeah.
to get into a battle right now, there would be some awesome things that would get to you. However, everything that you're going to say now is going to require you a intelligence check and a wits check at a -10 to your score. So if your score is, say, 60, it would have to be 50. And now you're going to have to make those rolls. Otherwise, you're going to start kind of doing Rakash gibberish. And I have no idea what that sounds like, because the Rakash language, the Habatu language, and the Koba language is very throaty, very. So you might actually start spitting at people, not intentionally.
What?
I like the fact
All
that
I
you
can
did
think
that
of-
because we haven't used that rule in like forever.
So it
all I
was
can think of is Evan Almighty when he's controlling
yeah.
him.
Yes, yes.
You see, I look over and I go, "Are you okay? That was a very strong drink."
Does she look like she's having a good time?
Oh yeah, I mean she. If you've ever been at one of those parties with the one person who looks happy, and they're like, that's not a natural, that's a supernatural or weird happiness. Like they're just like, yeah. So where are we gonna go jump off the cliff at? Right?
This is a good
And
time.
like,
Like, we used to go to the next place. This place is great. We used to
Nico,
go to the
check
next
your Discord, please.
Excellence is pretty great.
Oh,
I'm great.
eat more food, please.
Yeah. I don't.
No.
Yeah. I mean, you
Carbs.
did. Yeah. I'm just gonna just. hold on to my bread and kind of cuddle it a little bit, like I made a mistake.
Nice bread. Nice bread.
I should have.
I eat the bread.
Just gonna.
You see that Layla has like a little dinner roll on her plate, and I just hand it to you without a
Thank
word.
you.
Right on.
It's like,
There you go.
It's a great start.
it's okay. It's okay. Have you had one of these before?
Not one of these. You know,
Okay. Oh, what?
We're great. We're good. No.
We're good. I got it. I'll catch
It's
it.
what you worry about. I'm fine.
I'm fine.
Another.
Hey, watch this. This doesn't hurt.
Yeah. You want to see something cool? I can stab myself with my tusk. Look.
Whoa! I put my paws out. I'm like, okay, maybe you can show me that later. Show me that later. And I look over at my
Okay.
two other friends and I go, help me.
Yeah, Ellen has again like stopped sipping his egg and is just like, the heck.
There's no need for help. There's need for celebration. She's
So-
obviously having a great time.
Yeah,
It's a
obviously.
great time.
So, an hour or so has passed.
Too
It's
good of a time.
definitely coming in, towards early, like right afternoon, like not too far afternoon. You guys are having a good time. The crowds that were there are now really starting to dissipate. It's becoming less and less crowded. But you guys have been eating and drinking and having a good time. The only one that's really inebriated is the Rakas, who just, she's like in stage 2 of this. She's like numb, like the kind of numb where you go, watch. Didn't hurt. You want to try?
It's
Look at
so
this. I can
cool.
take a dagger. No. Go ahead and all of you make a perception check. TS of 4. Selkie, that's going to be a TS of 6 for you, though.
Great. It's what, perception?
Yeah, it'll be perception.
Oh. Heck it.
What is my perception?
Oh, no.
Is it? Yeah, I'm looking for perception as well.
That is going to be that's actually so it's not like D&D where it's passive perception. This is an actual attribute that you have that's on the
Right,
first.
no, I'm just looking for the word perception, and for some reason I am not seeing it.
It's on your it might be, hold on, I think it might
Is
be
it?
it'll be PER, and it's on the first page of your character sheet.
Top right.
Top
It's
right.
yeah, right next. It's above charisma. It's right above charisma.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, of course. So this is when you roll. Okay.
And every 10 underneath is 1.
Right. So it's right
So I
here.
got 2.
So we're looking to. It's every 10 underneath the big number.
Correct. So your perception, Layla, is 72. So if you
I
rolled
rolled a
8,
31.
so that's 4 successes. Right? So you got 4 successes. Ellen, how many did you get?
I rolled a 4. I'm
Wait,
trying to do the math right
A
now.
0-4?
004, yes.
All right, so that's not 4. So take another heroic luck.
Oh my god! This is
Y'all are doing so
amazing!
good.
You're
Well, okay,
getting
so here's
drunk.
the thing. I was hoping I would do well because I always roll really low, which is horrible in 5e. But I was like, it might pay
Perfect
off
for
for a
here.
change.
Might be work in your favor here.
What is
I
your
know.
perception score?
79.
So you've got 8 successes. Roll a d10.
Amazing.
All
Look
right.
at this stoic man.
I'm glad someone is.
That is a 0.
That's a 10. Roll it again.
That would be a 10. Oh, okay.
Double
9.
rolls.
What'd you roll?
9.
So 19. You've got 28 successes on this particular check. So you hear this the clearest. And I am going to let's do this way.
I was feeling
You
good about
straight up
having-
you've seen the DM.
I was.
Ellen
feeling
can see it's
great.
hilarious right now.
I was feeling great about just succeeding.
I was
I
just
definitely
hoping to
felt-
succeed too. I'm like, all right.
I was
please
like,
28
okay,
successes.
PS4. This is amazing. Oh.
What?
oh,
Those are not real numbers.
I
I
should
got
not
4
have warmed
successes.
up.
I feel great. Oh,
Oh,
28.
Document this. I'm so happy.
I should have went in this with dry rolls instead of warming up.
I went
That's-
in with.
Actually, that's why I'm dry rolling this.
I'm dry rolling sounds very
just
unpleasant.
Yeah, that really does sound kind of unpleasant.
Does not sound like a.
well, yeah. I normally test roll my dice to see how they're doing, and I always get a couple of decent rolls before the game, and then I
Layla
never get
suddenly
anything higher than a 10.
Layla suddenly feels very impressed with Aelin, and she doesn't know why.
So that's why he's so quiet, just sitting there. Is he's just sipping his
Strong
egg,
silent
sipping the
type, just
mimosa,
really-
and just
Sipping his
listening.
egg.
Elegant. I'm too busy eating my food loudly.
You're like, this is a great time. I think at the same time, even though I'm succeeding, I'm busy doing the thing where I'm like patting Bajra on the shoulder, like, are you having enough water? How are you
Yeah,
feeling?
She ain't seen anything.
I'm just like
She's
handing
seeing
you,
the surface of the table very close.
I am just handing you mug of water after mug of water after mug of water as Layla oddly goes into mother mode. It's just-
Instant regret.
Trying to sneak in my mimosa to her.
no.
This is face.
Can a Hote,
Whoa.
if I see a Hote sneaking the drink to Bajra, this is unacceptable.
Yes.
It doesn't even look like I'm doing it yet because you still see me eating, but yet you see the mimosa just going over, and you're like,
Yes.
We already have PvP. This is uncool. You see a paw just go.
It's a good time. Session 1.
Session 1. What did you do? Ran into each other and got drunk.
Got so wasted. Which, par for the course.
Watch this guy drink his egg.
I'm gonna have to catch more people in the alley more
Alan,
often.
Markham. Right? Markham, check your
Yeah.
Discord.
All of that roleplay just now was canon.
Let it be known.
As the whole time, Ahote's just been trying to sneak more drinks to Bajra, and
This will make you feel better.
And Layla's like, stop it, stop it, stop it.
Sipping his egg.
Yep.
I hate that combination of words.
And I love to
For
think
reasons
that
I
it's
cannot
basically-
explain.
It's me just continually pushing the drinks away, all while Ellen is just like,
And you can do with so if I whisper anything to you on Discord, you can do what you want with that information. This is what you heard. How many successes did you get, Layla? I forget.
I got 4.
4. Ahote, what'd you get?
I got 2 successes.
And
Exactly.
Bajra? What? I didn't get any. What do you want? Hey, look, those pink
I didn't see
butterflies. You see those pink butterflies?
Oh my god!
Meanwhile, Layla's like
It's
fielding
crazy.
drinks from Ahote, just like, she doesn't need any more.
It's that
Listen,
whole
that's-
scene from Dumbo when he falls into the vat of alcohol.
Pink elephants on parade, yeah.
See, that's the
Yeah.
worst thing you could give me right now. I'm covered in sharp objects. This is a great time. I could be a lot worse.
The arms trying to give her the alcohol while I'm sitting here trying to eat my own.
The 2 extra arms. Layla is powerless. I only got 2 paws. I only
You
got
could
2
eat so
backers.
fast.
Yes. And
I know-
she's a 17-year-old, impressionable young youth, and she's definitely taking another drink.
Ahote, this is problematic.
I like that description. Impressionable young youth.
Can I roll to see if I can sneak at least one to her?
Yeah, can you roll for that? Can he roll to sneak me another drink?
Absolutely. Let's do this.
I'm trying to stop him. I'm trying.
Let's go
to
ahead and
see
make
him,
an agility check.
And I'm trying to catch him.
Make a.
Ellen's just
What'd you
listening
roll?
to the room.
Is that a 6 or a 9? Yeah, that's a 9. That's a 98.
Yeah.
Oh.
So he's not very stealthy about this. He's like, here, you see one arm kind of bring up the drink and kind of like start to push it over, like, hey, and then the other arm kind of gets in the way, and it spills all over the table.
Oh.
And this is what you get.
Technically, you could still lick it off the table.
Please don't
could.
encourage her.
Yes.
Do you say that to her?
Yeah.
Make a convince check.
Oh no.
I want to convince her not to
Just
do
joking.
Oh, 10.
it. No. This is a bad idea. This is a bad time.
No. No. It's an act 2.
Super convinced.
Can I roll a counter convince? Can I try?
Super
You
convincing.
can, yes, you can try to roll a counter convince. However, we're not done with his roll. That's another heroic luck. What is your convince? What's your convince score?
It's the best game I've ever rolled, and I did not want to roll high on that one.
What's your convince check? What's your convince score?
Yes.
Mark, what is your convince? What is your convince score?
For me, I just minimized it. Let me see here.
And it doesn't matter what Layla did. She rolled a 92.
Convince is, 44 for
So that's
convince.
4. Now roll a d10 for your critical determination.
He's
Let's
gonna
have
like
fun with
keep
this.
it to space again.
It's a 10,
Roll it again.
and that's a 1. Oh, thank goodness.
So 11, 15 successes. So here's what's going to happen. You pre-rolled Layla before we determined everything. So go ahead and make a counter convincing check. Your target is 15 successes. If you fail, Bajra, you get I'm going to give you a wits check at half score for you to figure out, like, that's not a good idea. Okay, never mind.
Oh,
Wait, hang on. Were you asking me to roll the counter convince?
You have to roll a counter convince, and it's
I
going to
rolled the counter convince. Would you like to know what I rolled?
Yes.
A 92.
You start to say something about this, and you can't come up with a good argument of why you shouldn't.
I
start,
mean, you-
but no, this
I mean, what?
the
here's
table.
Here's the thing. What you really should. But if you think about it,
he
if
makes a
you talk-
compelling argument. I mean,
makes a
you
compelling
paid for it.
argument.
Why did it go to
You
waste?
might as well not waste it. I hate my life.
You don't want to waste it. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
Bajra,
perfectly
go
good
ahead and make a
alcohol.
wits check at a TS of 4,
Great.
for you to not lick the table.
Great.
as
doing
I
great.
just stand there
Oh,
looking at
no.
Ellen like, what did you do?
No, I'm looking at that table.
Would you roll?
A 71.
Yeah, she just kind of just does
I'm
one of those
looking
lay
at that
downs
table.
like this, and just starts to put her arm out on the table, and
She go
she
for
just
I got
kinda
it. Don't worry about it.
I got your mistake.
You
I
don't
got
need to
it.
clean up anything. We're fine. I've got it. Don't worry about it.
I look at
Markham,
Ellen and I go,
do you want to do anything with that information, or are you going to keep it to yourself out of curiosity?
For the moment, he's keeping it to himself. He'll probably
Right.
mention something a little bit later.
So,
Right now, his new concern is that she actually is listening to him and trying to lick the table. He's just kind of like, I think
Impressionable
he's
you.
probably to the mashed potatoes by now. He's like, like, no, like, I just
wanna
took a
stop
bite,
it,
now
but
I
I
need to know
can't.
to stop. Yeah,
But I
like,
can't.
I look at Ellen
He's
and
like,
I
but
go,
it tastes
"I-
so good.
I actually look at you and I go, I mean, you can't waste it. You can't waste it. It's expensive.
You pay for this.
I did pay
You
for
know,
it.
I'm
gotta-
looking out for you.
You gotta look it all up. I mean, and you know what? I can empathize with that because a lot of people assume because I'm a Jacquera that I'm just gonna lick things, and it's not true. And let it be known, I am not the one who licked this off the table.
No, I'll
Look
take
at
full.
Layla and
I'll
I'm
take.
like, you
I'll
want to
take
help,
full.
though,
of-
right?
No, I don't
Well-
want to help. I kind of
No,
want to
you wanted help.
Oh, I wanted help. No.
so over the last hour or so,
Right.
Bajra has been kind of trying to come out of it, and spilled drinks and food and greasy food has kind of made her sick to her stomach.
No.
Oh, great.
and you can kind of feel the gurgling of your stomach, and
Little tummy
you
gurgle.
make almost an immediate bee run to the door. And as you're doing so, you run into a fairly large group, like 5 or 6 Kova, that are dressed in a distinctive wear. I almost want to say, imagine Sons of Anarchy kind of gear, but it's all deep red instead of black. And you run into them, and one of them says, "Oi there!" and pushes you really kind of hard in the stomach. Make a stamina check.
I don't want to do that. Why is it do that? It's a bad idea.
Okay, I got an
Convenient.
11.
You were successful?
Yeah, my stamina is 77. I rolled an 11.
Nice. You kind of you feel it like, oh, and you kind of just like push them out of the way as much as they push you out the door, and you make it out the door, and just as you hit the steps going down, the mimosas strike revenge, and you find yourself kind of releasing
Not
the
having a
devil
good
inside. Yeah, it's no longer a good time.
Purge.
Ellen, you notice this group. You all notice her run into this this Kova group, and they have like this leather jackets and leather armor. And it's all this. It's reddish, but it's more like velvety color more than it is like a pure red. And they all have this. I wouldn't say tattoo, but it's definitely a black mark on their foreheads of this. You kind of make out. You think a skull with 9 flames around it. You're not really sure.
Huh.
9 flames.
And is Ellen the only one who sees this?
No, you all see it.
Oh, we all
That's
see it.
you all see it, and I was gonna say Ellen, but I said you all see it because you literally saw this new friend of yours pick up and run, and you all kind of turn in the chairs and look at her run up the door, and she runs into this group, and you hear "Oi!" and you kind of like turn around like, "Hey, what's going on over there?" And you see these Kova, Kova are about 4.5 to 5 feet tall. They're very bulky. They've got these cranial plates, ridges on their heads. Some are beardless, some have thick beards, some are completely bald. But what's significant about it is that they got the skull with these nine bits of flame surrounding the skull, and they're all dressed in this velvet colored leather armor and leather jackets, and they are decked out. You notice that they all carry swords, and you're not sure if they are crossbows or actual pistols that they carry with them.
Couple things. I'm first gonna put the appropriate amount of money on the table, so please tell me what I owe for this very hearty lunch.
10 silver.
Oh, amazing. I put 10 silver down on the table, and then I look at my other 2 companions and I say, I kind of want to see if Bajra's okay. Do you know anything about these guys? Should we be worried?
Would we know anything about them or recognize that symbol anywhere?
Who's asking?
Ahote.
Ahote. Make a lore
Or
religion.
Ellen, for that matter.
Lore religion. You all can make a lore religion if you like.
Okay, good.
I won't. I'm outside.
Yeah, no, you won't. Yeah.
I didn't
no.
see it.
How?
That is
Wow.
an eight.
Okay.
That is an
Apparently,
eight.
religion I'm good at. It's an alt 4.
Critical hit. So that's critical score. Give
Hey!
yourself a heroic
Oh my
luck.
god.
I
The
know,
gentlemen are rolling
96
so
for
well.
me.
Bajra and I gotta catch up. That is an 18 for Layla.
All right.
96 for me. Ellen has no clue.
I have no idea what
My
that is.
streak has ended.
How high
My
they
My
fall.
streak didn't just end. It just.
The mighty have fallen.
You were so busy convincing this person to lick the table.
I know. I was
hey,
like,
we
why
have
do you have to roll on
raid!
that one?
I'm so glad
Hey.
all those good rolls went to good use.
Yeah, licking
Yay.
mimosas off
Yeah,
tables. Very,
clearly.
It
very
was a good time.
useful.
You ever get like you drink something so much and you're like, you know what? I can never stand the smell again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. We're gonna have good times.
That goes to
And
any.
who thought rum mimosas would bring me here?
Rum mimosas.
Well,
A
give me the
terrible.
control here.
How is your
Rum
session one
mimosas?
going? Where one of our key people got real drunk and the other one successfully convinced her to lick the rest of the spilled drink off the table.
Honestly, though, I'm considering that more of a fail than a success because, he did so well. He would have tried to stop her, but it was so good. Basically, it was like he had, the fried potatoes in his mouth, and he was
rolled
like,
28 to sexes. I don't.
Both
There's nothing I can do.
Tipsy
Yeah.
and Nico, check your discords.
Okay, give me a sec.
That's
Okay.
the information you gather just from what you guys have seen from that.
I immediately tense.
Now, what's
I tense
interesting
up.
about this is that particular bit of information of who they are is the fact is that open worship is illegal. And that's almost a standard through every species that recognizes that symbol. They know that that's in some cases it's not illegal depending where you're at, but in most civilized areas it's either highly frowned upon or illegal.
I look at Ahote and I go, how are they that ballsy? That's really ballsy. And not in a good
As
way.
she mentions that, I my smile from seeing Bahara run out
From Bajra?
and it's or Bajra, sorry, slowly fades as I see them come in, and I start to recognize who they are, and I start to go back to more of a dimmish yellow color, and I say, "You should probably go check on her."
Ellen, what we're gonna go check on Bajra.
hold on, who are they? I'm not
Can I tell
familiar.
you when we're outside?
They're not someone we want to affiliate with.
No, we don't want to be here. We go outside.
But then I look at them, and I kind of obviously frown.
Do you look at them and frown?
I like look up and I see them, and I'm like, why are they even here? Is what I'm thinking.
Okay.
But that's the face that I'm showing is like, why are they here?
Okay.
And I proceed to get off of my chair so that I can head out the door to go check on Bajra.
For the record, at this point, he's just kind of like stuffed anything left in his mouth and has now kind of he's trying to discreetly put his hand near his gun holster, just in case.
Layla kind of I put on this very like, okay, we're good. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing suspicious. We're just leaving. We're not engaging. And she just kind of starts to lead the group past the group to get out because this is not a group you want to engage with. You will die.
My as I'm walking, I'm not making it obvious and I'm not actually reaching for it, but I'm keeping my left lower hand lower to my pocket. I don't put my hand in my pocket, but that's where my book is. So it's just there. With me thinking if I need to access it quickly or not. But I just kind of like avoid eye contact and follow right behind Layla.
Yeah, I think we leave to go find Bajra.
Well, that is not very hard to do. And I'm giving you guys, those of you who rolled on that piece of information, a little bit more. So you have a better understanding of what's going on. She's not hard to find. She's literally sitting on one of the stairs out there, hand
Right.
up on a hand up on a on the handle or the railing and just like
I do two things. I go out and I immediately start doing the awkward like rubbing of the back. And then I turn to Ellen and Ahote and I go, Ellen, you don't know who they are, right?
No, I'm not
Um,
familiar with.
so there's the god of Zahak, um, Lord of Darkness, god of all that is evil and bad, basically. Um, you're not supposed to worship him in most places, definitely not openly. And those guys were. Um, but there also is like a court of decay, so maybe they're part of that. I don't know. Either way, I did not want to get into any trouble with them. If they're openly showing who they worship, I don't think they'd have any hesitation doing some really, really bad things.
oh, right on. So I do want to pass this out. I don't know if you guys are paying attention to the chat, but D&D Denial just reached 300 followers. So yay!
Yay! Woo!
That's awesome.
And and Drunk Serby is one of my friends from the AMDM side of the world. If you have ever watched them, and
Hello, fun.
they host me when I play occasionally, and they are really good, awesome people. So if you're online and you're watching us, go follow the AMDM on the Twitch and also on the Lock app, AMDM. Some really good folks.
AMDM.
AMDM. Yeah, he's he's not for everybody, but he's a good people. He's good people. He's part of the mafia. If you know what I'm saying.
Out of character question for you. How long are we going tonight, just for my knowledge?
That is up to you guys. We can end anytime you feel like you're like, I'm done. I've had too much fun.
I'm gonna say probably midnight my time would be about my latest, if that's
And
okay with
that's
everyone. It's
what
currently
that's
11:33.
11:33. That's fine. It's up to you guys.
How are you feeling, guys? I don't want to determine it. Is that okay with everyone?
I'm trying to
I'm fine.
do math in my head.
I don't know
Yeah.
what your time is, but it works for me.
12
So you guys
PM.
are all East Coast at this point, except for I think
Not me.
Nico. Where are
And
you?
me.
no.
I'm Central.
You're Central.
Where are you? Selkie?
Florida.
Yeah, I'm East Coast. I don't know which coast I'm on.
You're on the East Coast. You're from Florida. You're East Coast.
Got it.
I'm central.
You're
Okay,
Central.
I'm-
All right. So Central,
I'm
and then
West
where are
Coast
you at,
State.
Markham?
I'm up in New Hampshire, but I'm East Coast.
Yeah. So you guys are East Coast. So it's 10:30, 11:30. It's
So I would
12:31 right now.
So I'm saying my end time would be ideally, if you guys are okay with it, but I'm willing to go a little longer, would be 1 a.m. your time, Eastern.
It's up to you
Okay.
guys. I'm
Okay.
here at your service. So if you guys are like, you know what, I've enjoyed it, but I really need to get to bed because AM coming real quick.
Pacific time is also nice.
I am at the
Pacific
Pacific time. I am in Pacific. I'm
That is where-
Arizona
that is where
time.
That is where my twin is. My twin is currently sitting
Y'all
innocently in
sitting
Pacific
pretty
time.
right now.
Yeah,
Mid evening.
Yeah, it's mid-evening for us.
What does everyone think? Are we good with stopping in like 25 minutes? I don't want to make it be like, I said so. Layla said so.
Well, no. Ultimately, it's going to be up to I guess you guys where you guys want to end, and again
Yeah, we'll
because
see.
it's starting late for you guys.
Yeah, we'll see where story takes us, and if we find a good story.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
gonna say. I mean, I'm fine
So-
with that if there's a good stopping point at that time. I'm fine with going a little bit longer otherwise.
So there's some information I've given to each of you different characters that you can decide to act on, and if you act on it, it might be a good place for us to finish and pick up next week, or we can end now.
I think it might be good if we talk about what we want to do next,
Yep.
and then that's where we end, if that's
Sure.
okay with everyone else.
Absolutely. Goodbye, me.
So,
What do you
I ain't
guys
getting nothing. I'm
Well.
vomiting outside.
So I'm riding Bajra's back, and I have just explained this to Ellen. Like, yeah, they're if they're openly showing who they worship, then they are bad news.
are you familiar at all with a group called the He's gonna kind of like keep his voice low, and it's gonna be directed towards Ahote and Layla. And he's gonna say, Are either of you familiar with a group called the Sons of, I think it's Chelix? I didn't
No,
quite catch the pronunciation.
I'm
don't-
not
Uh,
familiar.
How about the Daybreakers?
No, I mean I know about the Court of Decay. Um,
Okay.
because you know that the Church of Azahawk has been, banned everywhere. These are people who now have made, the Court of Decay, and it's hidden all under all the ruins and everything. Um, yeah.
So they're a cult. Is what
Ki-
you're telling.
Yeah, yeah, they're kind of a cult.
Ran into me. Fucking put not me stuff.
He was being. You're absolutely right. He was an asshole. He was an
It's-
asshole. It's true.
Yeah, I got.
Can we not say this quite so loud, please?
Maybe we should move from the bar. I think I'm gonna put my arm around Layla and like the height difference just like on her so you can lean into me.
Yeah,
Come on,
he-
come on. Shh, shh, shh. It's okay. It's okay. We're gonna go somewhere where you can rest. It's okay.
Let
Is
me
the
help.
door-
Let me
Make
help.
an
I'm
intelligence
close to height.
check, Selkie, at a -10.
Oh,
If you fail, you kind of do one of those dips around her arm and you start walking right back into the cantina.
Yeah.
Why would
We
you
choose
do
violence
it?
today. Oh, what am I rolling?
A intelligence check at a -10. So whatever your intelligence is now, subtract 10 from it and then roll underneath that.
So I rolled exactly 10 underneath my intelligence.
So she kind of dips underneath your arm and starts to head back into the cantina.
That's it.
And she kind of
Can I roll to grab her?
she kind of gets to the top of the stairs and just kind of just stops and just starts to fade. And you can see her body kind of do one of those tilts.
Oh
Like,
no.
It's going backwards. But she's doing one of those conversations where her mouth is moving, but nothing's coming out of it. And you know that it's not good. And she just starts to fall backwards.
Ow.
Ellen's actually running.
I think
this
all
is the
three of us
fastest
are
you
just.
guys have seen him yet.
I feel like I'm still closer, but I'm not sure where we are.
Well, this is a that like where you're positioning. It's just narrative action that's happening. So I mean, the way I see it is Layla, you were probably closest when she dipped. Ellen, you were kind of coming out. Bajra, you dipped. So it's going to be between Hote and Ellen to catch her, where you were like this. I mean, you're more like she's up here and you're like got her by the waist and she kind of dips around you and you're like, whoa, right? And she starts to march up the stairs.
Bajra, please. Oh God, there's a death cult in there.
I would roll agility or
Just roll, so roll an agility check and just don't drop her.
Just don't drop
Don't
her.
drop me.
All right, that's a 73 under my 87.
Oh yeah, you catch her pretty easy. All four arms kind of wrap around her gently as she falls into you, and you kind of slowly. Are you trying to get away from the cantina at this point?
he rolled the 73, but I did roll an 11.
All right, so
yeah.
okay, so the two of you easily catch her kind of softly, and do you want to like drag her away? I mean, she's not fighting you like fighting you, but it's like one of those things like, stop it, leave me alone. I can do this. I got this. Kind of,
May I propose a small thing?
Absolutely.
Is I imagine that between the two guys, she's like lifted, like Hote has her by the back. You have Ellen on the feet, and then thinking she's helping.
Canopy
Layla comes
style.
up and just is like underneath.
Wait, Ellen, how tall are you?
5'6".
Okay, I'm 4'10".
Oh my god, I am the tallest one.
And you're tilted.
He's tilted.
Or she's 8 sheets to the wind on this one.
Can you see Layla like think?
Perhaps I should have taken the.
Right? So
You see
you
why that-
guys kind of catch her and kind of like, drag her. It's not hard to find a spot to like lay her down so she can rest for a minute, because as you guys make it onto the fair, onto the main thoroughfare, and I'll get that name for you when we're done here. You start kind of noticing that she's not the only sailor that's kind of not feeling well, as they kind of other people pull their friends away from fights that are happening in taverns and other inns and cantinas that are up and down that line this major street for the entertainment of them. And you kind of pull her into an alley and kind of like just gently drop her, right? Up against a wall.
You see that I kind of buff myself up a bit and almost get into like a fighting stance and go like, so I don't want to fight, but if I need to get into a brawl, I will. Okay?
Her fur,
Yeah. Out of it.
the tail goes.
My tail floofs. It's a floof tail.
That's how you know a Jakar's mad. Their tail floofs.
I'm very protective right now. Very protective of this new friend who I gave far too many drinks to.
Yeah, far too many.
And I look at Ellen and Ahote and I say, so here's the deal. I know about the Court of Decay. Those guys might be part of it, but you were mentioning these other two groups, Ellen. Do you think they're at all related or totally different?
All I know is that they were talking inside about the Sons of Helix being lots of trouble. So they're planning to, whoever they were, planning to meet with the Daybreakers later tonight and discuss the situation. I'm not entirely sure what's. They're meeting back at the.
Let's
at the pub.
retcon that, just so you
Oh,
are more
retcon that?
specific. Right. So what I passed on to you was the fact that someone was saying, listen, I need to meet with the Daybreakers, obviously, and this other person, because the sons of Chelix or Kelix, whatever, like however you want to pronounce it, I don't care, are causing way too much, are causing more problems now than they ever have, and that the Warden Watch, which is technically the city watch for the Eastern District, is there's been a huge spike apparently in criminal activity, and they're having a difficult time controlling it, and they want to meet with this person. This person and possibly the Daybreakers in an attempt to, who knows.
Okay, in that case, he's gonna be more on like lines of, I know they're tied to crime. Other than that, I really don't know. Someone was talking about it back in the.
But you do know that I think I sent it to you.
Yes.
I think. Hold on, let me double check here.
If it's in the Tajahu.
No.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah. Okay. So I didn't describe who the Sons of Chelix are. Just that they have the name the Sons of Chelix.
I did mean to ask, how would the individual speaking in the restaurant have pronounced the name?
Chelix.
Chelix, and then
Chelix.
that's how he's going to pronounce it.
Right, Chelix.
Well, I don't know. I feel pretty worried about those death god worshippers. Maybe I'm biased, but it makes me feel rather uncomfortable. They're just walking around
I mean,
like
if
that.
anyone's behind a spike in crime, it would be them, right?
Well, especially with the Court of Decay popping up everywhere where the church is not allowed.
I mean,
Because
stopping them though would make us look good though, right?
I mean, it's a pretty hard task. This church is said to be hidden under layers and layers of the ruins in the Undercity. I was always interested in the Undercity coming here, but I guess that the city's been trying to find this church, but can't they can't find it. And there are all these shrines.
Okay.
Well, then we just make them run back to the church and follow them.
You think that we should confront the guy? Should we maybe wait until Bajra's okay? I look over at Bajra, just like really, really concerned.
And
Would I
with
know-
go ahead.
Would I know anything? Hearing them talk, would I know anything about the criminal organizations that they're talking about?
Based off of your background.
Yeah.
Give me an intelligence check at a TS of 4. So that means you're going to have to roll a 33 or less. Mostly because you're drunk, but also because you're new to the area.
Okay.
What'd you get? What'd you get?
37.
She got a what?
37.
There are a lot of criminal organizations
There's
in
so
Daduda
many.
Shiva that it's very hard. I mean, you came looking for work because, you know, you're a bounty hunter and those kind of things, but you've not heard of this organization directly because there's so many different criminal organizations. Now, remember, guys, when I say Daduda Shiva is huge, I quite literally mean imagine a walled off Paris in the 1800s with a central, and there are 9.5 million people living in this area. Just think about that. That's how many people are here. And so each of the districts themselves are kind of, that's why they have senators that are in control or represent each district. So it's a mini Coruscant. I think that's probably the best way to describe it. It's a mini Coruscant. If you're familiar with Star Wars.
I'm just really nervous about going in and confronting those guys, especially when we have, someone to make sure that they're okay.
Is it possible for me
Andrew.
to use my acupuncture to help her?
Well, that's a good question. I don't see why not. Let's
Ooh.
Acupuncture cure drunkenness? Like,
yes, I believe it
real
can.
talk?
That's amazing.
I think it can.
actually.
Real talk?
I think I know that it can heal.
Okay, but hilarious. There's
Yes.
acupuncture, and then there's fantasy acupuncture.
And what's the difference between the two?
I don't know. You have a homebrew.
This is not a homebrew. This is not a homebrew.
No, excuse me, an original TTRPG that you made up
Actually,
on
yeah.
your
So
own.
good. Yeah, actually, you could cure nausea. That would probably be the best thing to do it, and that's a
Ooh.
target success of 4.
Fix me.
Okay.
So
Stab me in the spine and
he
fix
could
me.
cause someone to have nausea, and I'm going to say the reverse is true, that you can remove nausea from somebody by doing the right stuff. However, if you fail, you're going to cause her some severe cramping and more nausea. So good luck and
Oh.
roll low.
Hilarious. All I'm telling you is you made up a game. You can make up fantasy acupuncture.
Well, and I did.
You
The-
did?
So as-
yeah, if you go to page 78, look on
That's
the character.
amazing.
There's acupuncture.
That's
as
amazing.
He
She's worried
can
about,
actually kill somebody or bring them back from death if you roll
Oh,
high enough.
whoa.
Superpowered.
That's so
Wait.
cool.
as
Awesome.
she's worried about
So roll acupuncture
is it
TS of 4.
Bajara?
Huh?
Is it Bajara?
Bajra,
Bajra.
Bajra.
Bajra. Okay.
Bajra.
I walk up and I say, I can possibly help you out. I look for consensus. Is that okay?
This shit sucks, dude. Fix me.
Like I got this. Rummage around and bring out
I
some needles.
don't
I'm like,
do drug things often.
be
I don't do
very
the bad
still.
things.
I was like,
Uh,
don't move,
Okay.
or the opposite could happen.
Okay. I'll do my best.
Okay. I rolled a 44
What is your score? Your
for intelligence.
No.
80.
Do you have acupuncture?
Oh yes, I do.
What is your skill score?
47.
You were supposed to get 47 and you were supposed to get 4. Yeah, so he goes about and he's like real careful and he starts sticking these thin needles in different places and up comes yesterday's breakfast. And now she's cramping. She's like, she can feel things. She's like, oh, this is hurting. Cramping happening.
Ow, 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 ow,
Well,
ow, ow.
as I take them out, I'm like, good news.
I didn't kill her.
Getting out, and I didn't kill her.
Okay, yeah, you see that I start fiddling with my pendant. Can I use a spell in this situation? Would cure wounds
Absolutely,
help
sure.
At all?
Well, do you have curing touch?
I do have curing touch. I do.
Use curing touch, and that will resolve
All
the
right, let me pull
acupuncture,
up-
the cramping, and the drunkenness.
Okay, wonderful. You see that in a very like a turn of personality almost. You see this very like enthusiastic, bubbly, energetic Jakara just like hone in and close her eyes. And as she does, she presses her hand onto Bajra while she, Bajra's freaking out, understandably, and just goes, breathe into my hand.
I don't.
Breathe
Is it-
into my hand.
Gonna be as bad as the last time.
Nope, breathe into my hand.
Okay.
And I cast Curing Touch on her.
What you're going to need to do is you're going to need to roll against your divine knowledge, and I believe it
Okay.
is a TS of 1, so don't fail. If you fail, it's not the end of the world. You're just going to have to take another moment and recenter yourself and try it again. If you try it again too soon, it is a penalty to your skill check.
Okay, so Divine Knowledge is, I have a plus 10 FP. That doesn't do anything.
No, that's not fatigue. It's going to be in the character skill section. Alphabetical divine knowledge. You should have a score
Thank you
there.
for your help with me remembering the things.
No worries. Hey, you guys are learning a new system, and that's just what
It's
it
a
is.
great system. Okay, so I just have to not fail.
Right.
So I failed. I got a 58. I rolled a 72.
So you feel you call upon Odiernan, and your faith isn't as strong as you'd like it to be. So mechanically this is what happens. You lose 3 fatigue for the attempt of casting the spell, and you can take another few minutes and recenter yourself and try it again if you like.
Okay, you see the frustration. I go, I can do this. I can do this.
And remember, the reason why it seems like, oh, well, I'm failing, it's because you're a new initiate. Literally, you're an initiate into the church, right? I mean, you're not as strong as you'd like to be, but you'll get there.
Okay, so wait, I'm rolling another divine knowledge after taking a couple minutes.
You
Yeah.
got this. Ricky.
Yes?
You got this.
Yeah.
The 71.
I'm gonna just wash this off.
Yeah, I think you might just people are laying hands
Just
on you.
give me
They're
a
sticking
second.
you with needles.
Y'all are the.
You just may want to take a rest. You know what?
Hold on. Can I do something stupid? As if I haven't done
Wait,
it.
as is
Stupid
if
already?
you haven't already, but yeah, go ahead.
You've done nothing stupid in this entire session.
No, I've been nothing but making the best decision.
You have made what I would consider some of the classic player character first time player decision, and
You're
it's
doing
been,
wonderfully.
excuse my language, fucking phenomenal to watch you play
It's
this.
so good.
I've got a character in mind and I'm sticking to it. All right.
I would.
I love
would.
her. I love
So-
her.
We're by water, right? By a river.
Well, you're not the river's right there. You'd have to take a 5-minute
Yeah.
walk.
Can I just, or is there any source of water nearby?
Yeah, there are now that you actually mentioned, there are horse troughs nearby. There are other troughs of water and for those pack animals that are used. Are you gonna go over there and do what I think you're gonna do?
Before I go submerge myself into horseback wash, let's think it logically. The best sort of getting another drink would be inside, but this time we're rubbing the whole drunk brain cell. We're gonna go inside, and we're just gonna ask for water. Help me, please. Just want water.
So you go back to the cantina.
We're gonna go back inside.
No, you don't. There's a.
No, I don't know. Whatever. They're assholes, but
So she kind of decides she's looking at the water thing, and she kind of starts to make her way over, and she gets this brilliant idea that maybe I shouldn't stick my head in that, and decides then to kind of walk across the street and begins to walk up the stairs into the cantina. When she gets there, anybody else coming? Are you guys like watching us stunned?
I'm following.
Trying to
You
not forcefully, but trying to convince her to not.
she kind of she makes her way up there, and she's like, I got I just gotta ask for water. When you walk in there, as you guys get in there, you see these Kova have got the owner / bartender. Literally, one of them's got him here over the bar, and you can hear harsh sound of whispers of the Kova language, as they're not so much arguing as so much as telling them what they need to do. And you guys walk in, and with that, we'll call it a night.
Oh God!
So that is the end of Welcome to the Jungle, Dardura Shiva session. We will pick up in a week. Next week, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll do that because I'm also going to be going to a convention here in local Arizona. So I will literally be getting done with you guys and then driving 2.5 hours north so I can get to a convention, so I can play some more Legends of Kralis for the whole weekend. Probably even play with the British group. We still haven't come up with a name for them, so definitely follow that. D&D Denial, thank you so much for allowing me to come onto your channel and take it hostage and torture some people for a while. It's been fun torture. For those of you that are on the D&D channel, I do have my own Twitch stream. It's Hilarious Game Master. Come give me a follow. We play Legends of Kralis every weekend, and now it's going to get even more fun. And I've got to come up with more devious ways to torture people, like maybe hang them and tickle with their toes. But remember, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. D&D Denial, you guys are awesome. I Sneeze at Stars, you're awesome. Speed of Candy, thank you so much. And we can't end this without saying, players, you have been phenomenal. I love this. I think this is going to be an amazing group, and I can't wait to see what else. When I put you into danger, what kind of hijinks you actually come up with, because I haven't even put you in danger yet, and you guys are doing all kinds of cool, crazy stuff. So until then, I want you guys all to stay safe, stay healthy, and in my world, I always want you to stay legendary.